Welcome back to the Northtown Center. Second intermission is Niagara County leading Cache 4-0 in the Section 6 quarterfinals. Francis Beck joined once again by Randy Schultz and now by League Chairman and Williamsville head coach Rick Hopkins. Rick, thank you for joining us right now.
Always a pleasure to be in your company, gentlemen, especially in a rink.
Yes. Before we get to Rick, though, let's go over the scores 4-0. Randy, I think Niagara County had the period that they were expecting to have early on.
Absolutely. They struggled a little bit in that first period there. They were up 1-0. Zimmerman got the only goal. Then Mansfield scored early in the second period, followed by a goal by Puff. And then finally the fourth goal by Sam Draper puts them up 4-0 here. So, yes, they did have that period they were looking for. And you can start to see that the Cache team is starting to wear down just a little bit here, and their inexperience with a lot of the young players they have on the team is showing up a little bit here.
Rick, and I'm sure you've noticed this Cache team is very young. A lot of 7th, 8th, and 9th graders on this team.
It's funny. NiCo and I joked at the beginning of the season how we should play a middle school game because I have the youngest roster I've ever had, and Nikki's got the youngest roster she's had, and she's done a great job with them, and they're competitive. Things can change in the third period, but that's the beauty of the girls' game, being non-contact and non-collision in New York State's eyes, that the middle schoolers, the 7th and 8th graders could play because, as we know, a lot of rosters are filled with middle schoolers, and over the years, some of the best players in the league have been middle schoolers, and it's great to see them playing as seniors in the Fed because, you know, if you're playing varsity hockey as a middle schooler, you're pretty talented, and sometimes you lose them to travel or to other schools. But no, they're hanging in there, and you know, NiCo is the strongest team they've ever had. So they turned it on in that second period for sure.
There's a chance you might face this NiCo team next round. What exactly makes them so special?
They've got some very talented seniors and a senior goalie, and that's where it starts in the goal, especially in the playoffs. If you have strong goaltending in the playoffs, you're going to do well. And they were very close last year. Graduated, I think Kayla Persinger was maybe their only regular that graduated. So, you know, they've been building this team for a while, and you know, they grabbed the number 2 seed, which is hard to do. I mean, you have seen enough games where this league is so competitive. You have an off night or even an off period, and you know you're not coming away with the points you maybe hope to.
All right, let's move on to your team. Coach Randy just did the story for New York Hockey Line about your goaltender. I forgot her name.
Anna Meyer.
Anna Meyer. I knew it was Meyer. I was going to say Rachel. I don't know why. But what has this season been like for you? Probably not a typical Williamsville year, but you're still right in the thick of it.
Not at all. And I have to be honest, the girls surprised me. We look at the end of the season, the dust settles, and we're the 4th seed, and that's a tribute to how hard the girls have worked in front of Anna, but it's a tribute to how hard Anna has worked to be a goalie when she volunteered at the end of our last practice before our first game to jump in there. Only a freshman, but she has the mental makeup. And, you know, the 5 skaters on the ice, we always, you know, stress, you work hard for your goalie because she's making up for everyone's mistakes. And this team has worked so hard in front of her because they realize that she's bailing all of them out. I mean, there were 3 girls that were going to rotate in goal, and I knew that one wasn't going to work too well, but we had to go with what we had, and just so courageous. And all my coaching of hockey, lacrosse, I've never seen such an act of courage, which is what it takes to jump in goal in any sport and be that last line of defense. But we're certainly glad she did, and she's had a great year.
Randy?
Rick, I'll just kind of turn the tables here a minute. If you're the Cache coach, what do you tell your team going into this third period? You're down 4-0. Could be their last period of the season, but what do you tell them?
Well, it's a great time for the team to grow, and not that their season is ending tonight. There's still 15 minutes left, but a playoff experience is so important. And regardless what the score is, and you know, we tell our girls all the time, you don't let the scoreboard dictate your effort or attitude. And I'm sure Nikki's, you know, telling the kids the same thing. And you've seen it when you get that first one, and all of a sudden that second one's right there, and you know you're right back in it. And that's the beauty of hockey. And Cache has had a number of opportunities, especially in that first period. So it'll be interesting to see how it ends up. And I have a feeling the other 2 games are going to be, I told the Zamboni guys, be ready for a little overtime later tonight. So. I know that means you guys have to work a little extra too, but just put it on the timesheet.
Exactly. There we go. I like that, Francis. I'll put that one on the timesheet.
Yeah, I'll have to tell Frank about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be happy to hear.
All right, that will do it for us for now. So second intermission, third period set to start in about 3 minutes or so. It's Niagara County up 4-0 over Cache, the first of 3 quarterfinals today. For Randy Schultz, Rick Hopkins, thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
I'm
gentlemen.
Francis Beck. Stay tuned for post-game coverage and coverage for the rest of the evening here on Western New York Athletics.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
With exclusive buyer insights and our 100% money-back guarantee, we're confident we'll find buyers for your home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.